All right, men, welcome to today's episode of Strong Men, Strong Marriages. This is going to be a series, a five-part series. It's based on the book, The Tools, and we'll get into that a little bit today. But we're going to talk about just how to use those tools in marriage, and I'm going to be experimenting with them and kind of let you know how I'm liking them. Something I think we're going to start implementing in our program. So yeah, let's go through them together and kind of learn them. So there's tools for a better marriage. Part one: reversal of desire. My name is Mike Fraser, MD. I'm a psychiatrist and marriage coach. I help high-achieving Christian men have more intimate marriages. So some wins from guys in the program this week. Guys are recovering from infidelity. On their side, on their wife's side, and like restoring that intimacy. Unfortunately, let's say you're in a situation where your wife has been unfaithful. A lot of the advice you're going to get is like, "Well, just end it," and you shouldn't be there anymore. And you might be telling that yourself a little bit, but you definitely can recover even if your wife was unfaithful. It's totally doable. Guys do it all the time in the program. And sometimes, a lot of times actually, infidelity can cause a marriage to get to a better spot. It's like hitting rock bottom and having to rebuild your relationship from the ground up. And that can let you build a really strong relationship. Guys are spending great date nights together when they hadn't for a long time. Wives are starting to take ownership of their side of the marriage problem. So here's what happens when you come in and you say, "Hey, like I'm going to do my side, whether you're working on things or not. Like I want to be a better man, a better husband, a secure attachment figure," whatever phrasing you want to use around that, a more Christ-like man. A lot of times when you start doing it, your wife kind of says, "Huh, like maybe I should do that too," right? "I think this is good for him, for our family. Maybe it's time for me to take some ownership of my side." It often happens this way. Guys are having physical intimacy come back to their relationship when it's been gone for a long time. For me, going through these tools has been really, really helpful. So I'm going to share that with you guys today. So as human beings, we are often trying to avoid pain. Right? We don't want to get hurt physically. We don't want to get hurt emotionally. We don't want to be pushed out of our comfort zone, basically. We just don't want to be not even in pain, but not even uncomfortable. I think as the things have become more modern, right? Like we've got air conditioning because we don't want to be uncomfortable with temperature. Our cars drive us now. They can some cars can drive us now. Our screens do stuff. We can order food into our house. We don't even have to leave our house if we don't have to. So it's become very convenient, and but it comes at a cost a little bit. When we avoid pain, and we get so comfortable. We get kind of stuck. And, patients I work with on the more clinical side of things, can get stuck to where they don't even leave their house at all because they feel uncomfortable outside their house. Well, I have social anxiety. I don't like being around people. The way to overcome that is by actually going out and being around people. But if you won't face discomfort, you're just going to be stuck. And this is what happens, right? When we won't face discomfort, we become stuck. So in your marriage, this can happen too, right? We want to avoid the pain of difficult conversations about money, sex, in-laws, parenting, religion, housework, time. We don't want to have that conversation, so we avoid it because it's uncomfortable, because it's painful, right? It can be painful. And so we don't do it. So we stay in our comfort zone, but that also creates a feeling of stuck, right? A lot of guys, we avoid the pain of potential rejection. Okay, so like if we ask for what we want more intimacy, we want our wife to make meals, whatever, right? We don't ask because we want to avoid the pain of her saying no. So we avoid that pain, and so we stay stuck, not getting what we want in our marriage. We sometimes avoid the pain of saying no to our wife or other people because we want to avoid that pain of letting people down. So if your wife and your boss and everybody's asking you to do stuff and you say yes, 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 because you want to avoid that pain of feeling like you let them down or feeling that guilt, like boundary guilt, we stay overwhelmed, we stay stuck, right? But it's kind of more comfortable if we're used to it. We're in our comfort zone by saying yes and overcommitting and being a yes man. So we avoid pain, we avoid discomfort. So why does this not work, right? I mean, it kind of does. It keeps you safe, right? It keeps you in your comfort zone. I'm comfortable here, but people come to me to work with me because they are tired of things being the same. They're tired of things, being stuck in a marriage without much intimacy, feeling like roommates. They're tired of it, right? They want to go to the next level. But what's causing it a lot of times is this fear of pain, right? So we get this roommate feeling, this or worse feeling, right? Things stay the same or they get worse. You don't grow, okay, when you won't face pain. You're stuck. So it feels bad to be in this situation. It's not attractive to be in this situation. It's kind of a victim mentality a little bit in a way to say, it's just, I don't want to do it. I don't want to risk it, right? It's uncomfortable. But really it boils down to this. We're afraid of pain, and it makes sense, right? Our brains are wired that way. We want to avoid pain. Sigmund Freud, one of probably the most famous psychiatrists, right? He was all about people are mainly trying to either avoid pain or pursue pleasure, okay? I think that's probably pretty true at kind of a foundational level. So the problem is a lot of times we can figure this out, right? Like I'm pointing these things out and you're like, oh man, Mike, you're right. Like I do stay in my comfort zone. I could have these conversations. I don't really want to. I want to do that, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't know why, right? And the reason why is because we're avoiding pain. Okay. So going through this book, The Tools by Barry Michaels and Phil Stutz. Super great book. So what they talk about is kind of finding these tools over time. But what I like about it is their kind of overall premise is that you need to access what they call higher forces, or what we as Christians we call God, right? Or God's spirit of God, right? We need to access that to overcome certain life problems. Okay. So the first one that we're going to talk about today is what they call the force of forward motion. What that does, it's what they call the reversal of desire. So right now, when it comes to pain, your desire is to avoid it. Okay. So what we're trying to do is actually reverse it to where you desire pain. Now, not in the way that like you're masochistic, right? You're hurting yourself to punish yourself and you think that'll feel good. It's not like that. It's accessing this force that makes us want to grow, that makes us want to change, that God has a plan for us. One of the scriptures I memorize right now, Jeremiah 29:11, says, I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord God, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. Like God's got something in store for us that's big, right? And fear keeps us from getting there. So really, to me, it's just tapping into that, right? Tapping into that force that God wants us to move and grow and become more like Him, become more of who we are, right? But we have to go through pain to do that. That is true. Okay, that is true. So this reversal of desire, we have this desire for pain instead of the desire to avoid it. So I want to go into pain instead of running away from it. Okay, so that's what it is. So this is right from the book, and I definitely recommend picking this book up. So he says, see the pain appear in front of you as a cloud. So let's just say you're wanting to ask your wife to make you dinner 3 nights a week. Okay. So, you're thinking about that and you see the pain in front of you. Oh, what if she says no? What if she doesn't want to? What if she, tells me she already does too much, right? You're fearful of her response. Okay. So then he says, scream silently at the cloud, bring it on. Right. When we talk about this, like Rocky in Rocky 3, he's getting beat up. And he's like, you ain't so bad, hit me harder, right? Like that, bring it on, right? So this also, Viktor Frankl talks about this as paradoxical intention, right? Where we just go into the thing we're fearful of, or, that sort of thing. So again, you're picturing this cloud, scream silently at the cloud, bring it on. Feel an intense desire for the pain to move you into the cloud. As you're in the cloud, scream silently, I love pain, as you keep moving forward. Go deeply into the pain, and then to where you're at one with it. Okay? So bring it on. I love pain. Now, eventually you'll feel the cloud spit you out and close behind you. And then you say inwardly with conviction, pain sets me free. So that's the whole process. Okay? Then the book says, as you leave the cloud, feel yourself propelled forward into a realm of pure light. Right? So it's not like we just hang out in the pain, right? The pain is there to help us grow, right? Help us move forward, set us free, right? So it says the first 2 steps require activating your own will, right? Of saying, okay, bring it on. And I love pain. I'm going into the cloud. I'm there, right? I love the pain. Eventually the cloud spits you out. And you're on the other side, pain sets me free, right? I'm on the other side now. I'm in this world of pure light. I made it, right? I made it through the pain. So yeah, it says the first 2 steps require activating your own will, but in the final step, you should feel carried by a force much bigger than you are. That's the force of forward motion, or for us, like that's God helping us grow from the pain, right? Go through to a higher level of what God has in store for us. So with your marriage, right? Okay, I'm going to ask, bring it on, bring it on. I love the pain. You ask, right? Maybe she still says no, right? But at the end, you got through it, okay? You're spit out, the pain sets you free, right? And you're able to go have that conversation and do it, right? So one place I used it this week was in my workout. So I started running a little bit, hadn't run for a while. And so, I'm going and kind of trying to sprint a certain distance, just do a 200-meter sprint. So I'm coming to the end and I'm feeling the pain, right? So inside I'm going, okay, let's try this, right? Okay, bring it on, right? I love pain, right? And really in that moment, I did feel like a force like push me faster, push me harder. I ran through the finish line. Yeah, pain sets me free. So like it worked. It was a cool experience. The other place I've been using that lately is talks with my son. So kind of coming back to that fighting thing, right? I realized, man, I haven't really been engaging with him very much. And sometimes it feels like a fight because he's kind of rude in how he responds a lot of times. And so just kind of thinking, okay, yeah, if he's rude, does it kind of hurt when your kids are rude to you? Yeah. But like taking this approach, okay, we'll bring it on, right? And then he's being rude. Okay, I love pain, right? And then kind of pushing through it. So those, for me, right, pushing through that is being a secure attachment figure, still being there for him. Do I need to correct him? Possibly, right, depending on what's going on. But I'm still feeling in control, right, empowered. And kind of looking at it this way has helped me of, okay, like I love the pain. And then you get through it. Pain sets me free. Okay, like I pushed through. I got through a higher level. It's like when you're going for a new personal record in weights, right? It's hard. It's super hard. You're pushing, right? I love the pain. Rah. And then you break free. You break through. The pain sets you free. How? Because it got you to a new level of strength, of skill, of whatever, right? All right, so in summary, right now you're probably avoiding things that need to be done in your marriage and other areas of your life because you want to avoid pain. And that's understandable, right? We're kind of built that way. It's normal, and also it keeps you stuck. Okay, it does. So instead, use God, or as this book says, the force of forward motion, to reverse your desire. Okay, so again, the steps are bring it on, picturing that pain. I love pain, right? And then as you push through that cloud, or the cloud pushes you out, okay, pain sets me free and you're in a higher place. Because again, like even if you have this conversation, doesn't go especially well, you still are now set free because that pain keeps you trapped from just having a conversation that you want to have, that you should have. This is courage. Courage doesn't necessarily feel good. It is this. It's being willing to face pain. Say, okay, bring it on. I love the pain. Pain's going to set me free. Because if you're afraid of pain, pain keeps you trapped. Okay, the fear of pain keeps you trapped. Going through pain sets you free. Okay, true in all areas, including your marriage. So, loving pain makes you strong. It makes you unstoppable. In the book, he tells the story of, a guy that he met, a football player, who was one of the best guys in the state. And he said, hey, like, let me tell you my secret on this. Like, when I go out there, I just run into the biggest guy I can see as hard as I can because I just want to feel that pain. Like I like the pain. I feel the pain. And that's why I'm the best. Right? Because he wasn't afraid of it. Right? He went up, got hit. He was okay after. Okay. So again, not to go into pain that's going to like seriously damage you. We're doing pain that helps you grow. The pain that you're afraid of that will help you grow and get to that next level in your life, with your marriage, with your kids, with your workouts, with whatever, right? So bring it on. I love the pain. Pain sets me free. When you do that, you're strong. You're really unstoppable. Like nothing can stop you if you are not afraid of pain. Okay. So push into it. Okay. So learn to have this kind of courage with us as we're building this skill too in Strong Men, Strong Marriages. This is something that we want to do, to love the pain. Right? Why? Because the pain does set us free. Right? Going through it does set us free, 100%. So if this resonates with you, come join us in strongmen.io. Join the email list. If you're looking to make a bigger investment, you're a little bit more secure financially right now, probably making like $250K or more a year. Come apply to join us. in the intensive program, where we work with just a few guys a month at a more intensive level. Or if you're not quite there yet, come join our program at the end of the month. It's $200 a month. You come join us, learn the skills, practice together with other guys. It's a great experience. So that resonates with you, again, come join us at strongmen.io. Join the email list or fill out an application. Stay strong in God, men. Love the pain, and we'll see you next episode.